All right, Prop the Mic, PTM here, coming to you from, I think it's the first sunny day in Los Angeles in like 3 months.
Yeah, and you got ducks in the pond over there. Huh?
Yeah, I had a Sopranos moment. All of a sudden, the dogs were going crazy, and a male and female. It looks like they went away now. They landed in the pool. They were swimming around. I was ready to go in there with my bathrobe like Tony Soprano.
Yeah, how did that episode end? Do you remember?
How did it end? No.
The ducks like fly away.
Oh yeah, they ultimately fly away. Yes, yeah. And
Oh,
he gets depressed.
okay.
He gets depressed about it. That's why he goes and sees Melfi because they're
Oh,
he's depressed that the ducks left, and it's a metaphor about his children going to leave the house soon. I don't know, all sorts of
okay.
stuff like that.
So for you, you're just sad that the NBA season is coming to a close.
Exactly, that's my metaphor.
All right. So yesterday, great day. We had our first parlay collab with Proptology, and that was scary. Mike Conley came out of the gates like just assisting like crazy, and then Levine had none at halftime, and then put up 4 in the third quarter, which is great.
And then all his assists came in the third quarter. He finished with 4. That game was crazy. Yeah, I think the whole first half. I don't know if he finished with more than 4, but for the majority of the first half, I think he only had 4 points, let alone and 0 assists.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be a trouble one when the Sixers were up like 19-2 or something like that. I was like, oh boy. But anyway, we got it, and
we did,
and many others too. So it was a good night.
Yeah, very good.
So tonight we move on to a small slate. We only got 4 games tonight, but that's okay. Sometimes those are nice after a 10 spot.
10 tomorrow, so you got to take your breathers when you could get them.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So you want to dive into it?
Let's do it.
Okay. First game, we got the Knicks, the hometown New York Knicks versus the Magic. Magic are getting 3 at home. Totals 228.5. When I looked earlier, the only person who was out of note was Suggs again.
Suggs, yeah. Jonathan Isaac is not of note.
No.
So matchup wise against the Knicks, 3 nice matchups recently against the Knicks here. Primary ball handlers, so that's Fultz and Anthony for the Magic. Ball handling wings is Franz Wagner, and then shooting forwards they don't have. So you can look at those 3 guys in nice matchups here. And then on the Knicks side, you have, for some reason, secondary ball handlers are just crushing the Magic. It's the number 1 matchup for secondary ball handlers since February 1st. So the Knicks, besides Derrick Rose, who gets 0 minutes, your secondary ball handlers, I have them classified as ball handling wings, but you could also look at them as secondary ball handlers to Brunson is Barrett and Quickly. So those are the 2 we can look at. And then you have a nice matchup also for roll and cut bigs. So that's Mitch Robinson. Let's start on the Magic side. I like Franz here. We haven't played him in a while. He is one of our guys, right?
Yeah, he's like the co-captain of the team.
Yes. So I like his points, 18.5 points, minus 110. He's done this in 8 of his last 10 games without Jalen Suggs, averaging 20.2. He's done in 8 of his last 10 at home without Jalen Suggs, averaging 22.7. And then just overall, he's done it in 6 of his last 7 home games, averaging 21.1.
Nice.
Yeah. And I also like, so I was looking, I think between Cole Anthony and Markelle Fultz, one of them is going to have a nice game here. I ended up leaning towards Anthony. I like his points and rebounds. 19.5 PR, minus 125. In the last 3 games since Jalen Suggs has been out, Cole Anthony's had 23, 22, and 26 PR. And he's done it in his last 5 of 6 overall, averaging 22.3.
That's excellent. And he's got that connection to the Knicks, right?
To the Knicks, yeah. Yep.
Right. Papa played there, right?
Papa. Papa. Yep. Yeah. You have anything on the Magic?
Nothing on the Magic. I have two on the Knicks side. One we've already published, but go ahead.
All right. So I like the matchup here was Barrett and IQ. Those were the two guys we were looking at. Your
Okay.
IQ one is up on Twitter already. But I actually found something I like on RJ here. So I like his points, 19.5 points. He's done this in 13 of his last 16 games on a back-to-back, averaging 24.8. He's done in 8 of 10 on a back-to-back this season, averaging 24.1. He's done it in his last 5 straight games on a back-to-back, averaging 27.4. And his last 7 of 9 overall. He's getting hot, or he's been hot, averaging 22.7.
Nice. And he's going up against his Duke counterparts. I don't think he played with any of those guys, but he's got you got Carter out there.
He didn't play with Carter? Maybe he played. No, I guess
no.
Carter was a year or two before him.
Yeah.
And then I have 2 others, not matchups, but they're, since the Knicks are on a back-to-back, you can kind of, suss some things out there from players on a back-to-back. So Randall assists, 3.5 assists, minus 140. He's done this in 7 of 8 games on a back-to-back. Last 7 of 8, averaging 5 assists. He's done it in 5 of his last 6 games on the road, averaging 5.1 assists. And his last 2 games against Orlando this season, he had 6 and 4.
Nice.
Yep. And we got Uno Mas. We had this play over the weekend, although it was at 5.5 over the weekend. It's at 6.5 now, but it's plus 105. So you could also, you probably could play it at 5.5 if you wanted to, at minus 130 or something. Josh Hart over 6.5 rebounds, plus 105. He's done it in his last 8 of 10 overall, averaging 8 rebounds per game. Last 7 of 9 this season on a back-to-back, averaging 8.9. Wait, you look like you want to say something.
No, keep going. I'm going to totally trash you after this. Go ahead.
Okay, all right. Okay. If you take out games where he's played less than 27 minutes, he's done this in 7 straight games on a back-to-back this season, averaging 10 rebounds per game. And the game he played Orlando back when he was on the Blazers, but he had 13 rebounds in January against Orlando. What are you trashing here?
I had Josh Hart under 6.5 rebounds.
What?
Yeah, what? minus 128. So you're getting minus odds. So that tells me which direction is obviously in favor. You're not accounting for the Jalen Brunson effect. In 8 out of 12 games in which Josh Hart has played with Jalen Brunson on the Knicks, he has gone under 6.5 rebounds.
Ooh.
So, and he's going up against a Magic team that is pretty good at rebounding. So, but in 12 out of 12 games, Josh Hart has gone over 3.5 rebounds with Jalen Brunson. So I came up with
middle this.
I came up with a thread the needle Josh Hart bet. Over 3.5 rebounds. So it's usually on FanDuel as 4+, right?
Yeah.
Under 6.5 rebounds. So that gives you 3. It gives you 4, 5, and 6, right? So not a huge margin, but pretty good. And that gives you plus 142. Scared of that, huh?
I mean, he had 13 rebounds against Orlando in January.
Yeah, you can't look at what he was doing on the on the Trailblazers. So
you're going to try to thread the needle. This is usually something we try to do with like an NFL game spread or something. Not this is a first for a player prop, I think.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I wouldn't advise putting your mortgage on this one.
No heavy lumber on this one.
No heavy. And quite honestly, the fact that you are over and I'm under would also say probably avoid this one entirely. But let's see. This will be a good thing fun for us to go through tomorrow.
First in PTM history, we were on opposite sides of a bet.
Conflict. Well, yeah, because you don't bet under. So the only way we're ever going to be on the opposite is if I bet under.
Yes.
All right, and then we had I like all those picks except for Hart, and then we had quickly over 2.5 assists. I won't go through the stats, but he's been doing it very regularly. it is worth 9 out of the last 10. It is worth noting that his minutes are decreasing a lot. So I think he was down to like 16, 18 minutes, something like that in the last game. But I think, but he still got it, even with the minimal minutes. And he's had really good history against Orlando. So, all right.
All right.
Good.
Sounds good. One? Yep. Let's move along.
You seem a little shaken up by that.
Yeah, I just, you really threw me for a loop there, and you already forewarned me about another one. You're headed my way on the last game tonight. So
yeah, but that's an over. So don't worry.
All right. Good.
All right. Next, we got the rematch of the Cavs at the Nets. Nets are getting 4 at home. Total's 219. So low total. Don't go crazy on this game, but there is some good data to go off of. They literally just played 2 nights ago in Brooklyn.
Yep.
Go ahead.
So matchup wise, nothing great popping here against Cleveland. Besides shot creating wing / forward, we discussed this the other day. So Mikal Bridges, he came in under the other day. I got nothing on him here. Did you have anything on the Brooklyn side?
No, I don't. I didn't actually have an official play, but I think it's worth discussing. I feel like Dinwiddie is just being overlooked on his assisting capabilities, right? The guy's putting up like 10 or 11 assists almost every game. Look at it. Pull up his chart. He's got.
Is he really?
I think 4 out of the last 5 games he's had 11 assists, including the game against Cleveland.
Oh, wow. 11, 11, 7, 11, 16, 11. Wow.
Right. Oh, so it's even more than that. Yeah. So, and his line tonight was what, 7.5?
8.5.
8. Oh, it's up to 8.5.
Must have gone up.
7.5 earlier. So I was tempted by that, but again, Cleveland's not the team to go with guards against. So
yeah,
I'm laying off, but it is worth noting he's fallen into the point guard role there, which is nice.
Yeah, I don't know who they play next, but I think we should definitely look at that when next time they're playing, and it's not Cleveland.
Yeah, it is also worth noting these two teams are currently. I was going to push it out. I'll send it out tomorrow morning on Twitter, but they're currently slated to play each other in the playoffs, in the first round of the playoffs. So after the play-ins and everything, but the Nets are right on the brink of falling into the play-in. So these games are really important for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I had a couple on the Cleveland side here. You got some nice matchups since beginning of February against Brooklyn. I was on this the other day since we just had this game. Shot creating guards, Donovan Mitchell, over 26.5 points. I was on it the other day. I think I'm going to run it back here. He cashed in that game with 31 points. He's done it in his last 5 of 8 on the road, averaging 30 points per game over his last 8 road games. So in a nice spot here. And then my next 2 plays are with the 2 former Brooklyn Nets that are on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Jarrett, both of them. You're on both?
Allen and LeVert?
Yeah.
Yes. Let's see if we had picked the same prop though.
All right. Allen over 10.5 rebounds.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
I had that one.
And then LeVert over 11.5 points.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I had both of those.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, I mean, Allen's a recent trend. I mean, rebounding against Brooklyn is great. Recently, last 3 games, he had 12 versus Miami, 13 versus Miami, and then 14 versus Brooklyn. He also had 11 versus Brooklyn back in December. So really good history against Brooklyn. Probably gets up a little bit more against the team that
drafted him. Brooklyn drafted both these guys. Yeah, exactly.
So that to me is kind of a no brainer. Unless the first game was, I think, somewhat competitive, right? Wasn't it? And then they pulled away. We'll see if hopefully this isn't a blowout, but it is a 4-point spread, so it should be competitive.
Yeah, I think so.
And then LeVert, 11.5 points. He's done it in 6 of his last 6. In that span, he's averaging 18 points. Is it still plus money? Was it plus 100?
No, it's minus 110.
Yeah, so it's moving in that direction. It was plus 100 before. 4 last games against Brooklyn, 16, 12, 8, and 18. The one game where he went under the 8 points, he only played 19 minutes that game. So should get lots of run today. And again, motivation is there.
Yeah, nice, very cool.
Nice. That's a good follow up to the heart conflict.
Yes, yes.
We're on the same page on these ones.
Yeah.
You got anybody else in this game?
No, that's it.
All right. Third game, we got the Hornets, the Pelicans. Pelicans are -8. Totals 225. Looks like Mark Williams is still out.
Yeah.
What do you like here?
Not a lot from this game, though. You do have nice matchups against Charlotte. 3 really popping off here. Ball handling wings, versatile big, who New Orleans doesn't really have. Versatile bigs, which is Joval, and rolling cup bigs. Also a nice matchup here. So I'm going to run Joval back, but I like his par today, 30.5. -125. His last 3 games, 39, 35, 39. And at the beginning of the season, they played Charlotte, and he had 51 par in that game.
Yeah, he had like a monster rebound. What do you have, like 17 rebounds or something
like
game?
that? Yeah.
Yeah, and last year, I think when they played, he also had like 15 rebounds. So
yeah, he did.
I was looking at him. I found something else, but okay.
Yeah. All right. That's
Anything
all I
else?
got for this game. Yeah, that's it.
All right, I'm running back Najee Marshall, 6.5 points. They keep disrespecting him, only giving him a low line. He's done this in 9 of his last 10 games. The thing that's concerning is he only plays in the last 4 games. He's played 16 minutes, 19, 17, and 18. Yeah. But in 3 of those 4 games, he's had 8 shot attempts, right? So he really only needs to hit, maybe 2, 3 of those and get fouled once. So I think he's got it. I think he's got it. Again, I wouldn't go crazy just because the amount of the utilization on him is really low. But I think that was nice. He also played 3 times in the last year against Charlotte. This year he had 0 in the first meeting. He didn't play very much. But last year he had 2 games with 14 points. So, so I think that works. And then also a little weird one. I liked CJ McCollum for rebounds.
Okay.
4.5 rebounds. He's done this in 8 of his last 10, 6 last time he played against Charlotte. And then here are a couple guys that rebounded against Charlotte recently that are at the guard position. Harden had 11. Garland had 6. Tucker had 8. And your boy Josh Hart had 8. So four guys that I don't know if they all play a comparable position to CJ, but athletic guards that can rebound. So I like that 4.5 rebounds for CJ.
Yeah, look at that, 8 of 10. Nice.
Okay.
All right. Let's last game.
Yeah, story time. Thunder at the Clippers. Clippers are -4.5. Totals 232.5. Clippers are without Paul George after that somewhat gruesome hyperextension of the knee. That was pretty nasty if you saw that one.
Yeah. Not fun.
So he's out. He's out for the regular season, maybe even the first round of the playoffs. So we'll see.
Yep. Matchup wise, so against OKC, both your main, shot creating guards and shot creating wings / forwards, both in good matchups here. So you got Russ in the guard spot, and then Kawhi all alone in the wing forward spot without PG. So that's kind of nice. And then on the Thunder side, also shot creating guards, which is SGA against the Clippers, have been. I think they've been the number one matchup. Again, the Clippers have been the number one target since February 1st. So nice place to look there. Also, stretch bigs, versatile bigs, been crushing the Clippers. So we can look at Jalen with the Williams here. I got nothing on. Do you have anything on Clippers?
Just one. I liked Plumlee over 7.5 rebounds.
Okay.
He's done this in 7 of 8 games on the Clippers where he plays 18 plus minutes. Last game he played 20 minutes when these two teams just played. maybe 20 or 21 minutes. And I don't, obviously he's not replacing Paul George, but that's a lot of minutes coming out of the lineup that they may, maybe they'll line up both him and Zubac at the same time. And then so he had 12 rebounds in that last game, and the previous matchup against OKC when he was on Charlotte, he had 9 rebounds. So I think if he gets 18, 19, 20 minutes in this game, it's an easy cash. So
nice. All right. I didn't think about I wasn't thinking about him, with the PG out, but
even with PG in, he just had 12 rebounds and his line is 8. So so I think it's good.
Nothing. Did you look into Russ at all here?
Tempted. I don't know what dysfunctional sort of mess.
I know, but he's playing OKC. He had 15 points and 8 rebounds and only 2 assists in that last game, when his assists have actually been much higher. He's been getting 8, 9. So I feel like there's going to be some positive regression there with the assists. Maybe I feel like that might be a nice play, that he only had 2 in the previous game against OKC. I just feel like he was able to get 8 boards in that previous game with Paul George. Now Paul George is out. I don't know. It's a very, very tempting spot for Russ. No.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he was the first player I looked at. Actually, the first player I looked at was Kawhi, and his stats weren't compelling enough without George, which was surprising. I thought that was going to pop off.
A lot of it was there. Nothing much recent. It was all in December, though, right?
George has pretty much been playing every game. That's why.
Exactly. So. Yeah. There's not a lot to go on there. I think it's a great spot for him too. I mean, he was 21, 6, and 5 in the last game. So I might even look at the rebounds and assists, the 6 and 5. Even that last game with Paul George is pretty nice. So that might be also something to look at. Though he might flip flop. He might have to just take on the whole scoring load, and maybe the rebounds and assists fall off. I don't know. It's hard to know what's going to happen here.
It's either going to be a thing of beauty, where having one less option just leads to Kawhi shooting the ball all the time and Russ playing the point, or it's just going to be a total meltdown. I would probably think the latter.
Yeah. All right, then let's just go over to the OKC side here. So I like SGA. It's a huge number here, 41.5 par, minus 110, but he's done it in 8 of his last 10 games when he plays 30 plus minutes, which is pretty much all. I think that only knocked out a game when he played 29 minutes. So, and he's averaging 45.3 points, rebounds, and assists over those last 10 games. So that's nice. He's done in his last 4 of 5 on the road, averaging 45.6 also, and 2 of 3 against the Clippers. I believe that's all this season, 46, 35, and 42. It's a big number, but I think he gets there. And then
they're actually, just so you know, they are actually currently the 8th seed in the playoffs. So
wow.
I kind of just wrote them off and assumed they were out of the playoffs, but the West, from 6 all the way down to 12 or something,
separated by 3.5 games or something.
Yeah. So it's going to move a lot in the next couple weeks, but my point being is these are relevant games for them, right? They can even potentially get out of the play-in. The 9 and the 10 seed currently is the Mavs versus the Lakers, right?
Wow.
So my point is, very important games. These stars and these Western Conference teams are going to start to play big minutes because they could go from being the 6th seed to being out of the play-in in 2 games,
which is great for typically these last 2 weeks of the season are kind of a lot of things are kind of set up already. You got a lot of teams that are tanking and whatever. There's especially, I guess this is play-in tournament and whatnot, and there's a lot of chaos, especially in the Western Conference. It's good for us as to handicap these games over the next 2 weeks with guys playing a lot of minutes.
Just the Spurs, the Rockets, and the Pistons. Those are the 3 that have been all mathematically eliminated already.
Okay.
And you can see by the lineups they're putting out there. Okay.
All right.
So
and then, you gave me a sneak peek on Jalen Williams here. I actually found 2 that I really liked on him, but I'll let you go, see if we landed on one of the same.
Yeah, so you liked his points the other day at 6.5. He ended up with 6. So just missed it. But he only played 11 minutes in the previous game. So I was looking because he's been averaging about 20 minutes a game. So I'm like, why did this guy only play 11 minutes? But then you dive. Sometimes it's important to dive into the story, right? So I actually went through the game log and looked at like why the heck did this guy only play 11 minutes?
Yeah.
So he starts the game off, tip ball. 45 seconds into the game, he gets a foul. Right.
Okay.
Actually, I think even before that, he attempted a 3.
Okay.
A minute and 22 seconds into the game, he picks up a second foul. For some reason, they keep him out there. And with 5 minutes into the game,
he gets his third.
No, they take him out. Right?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
He's out of the game all the way until there's 6 minutes left in the second quarter.
Okay.
2 minutes later, he gets his third foul.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
He hits 2 threes. And then 2 minutes after that, in that 2-minute period, he gets his fourth foul. Right?
Yeah.
Now this is where he really kind of lost his playing time. Starts the third quarter with 4 fouls, doesn't actually start, right? They put in his backup for him. And he enters the game with 4 minutes left in the third quarter, exits with 1 minute later, and doesn't come back in the game. So the early 2 fouls messed up his first quarter. The late 2 fouls in the second quarter messed up his start of the third quarter. So that's how he ended up with 11 minutes. Guy still shot 2 for 4 from the field and hit 2 threes, which is why he got 6 points. So I think the story is if this guy plays 20 minutes, he's gonna probably put up some big points. So I think you're getting us at a discount. They brought the line down by a point.
5.5.
Yeah. So as long as he stays out of foul trouble, I think he's in good shape.
Yeah. So I like the him to have 1-3 was minus 150, and then for the 5.5 points was minus 113. So the 1-3 he's done in 8 of 10 overall with and he's had 2 threes in 3 of his last 6. And then he's also done in 9 of his last 10 on the road, averaging 1.5 made threes. So pretty good. And then the 6 points also. He's done in 7 of 9 on the road, averaging 8.1 points per game, and last 5 of 6 overall, averaging 7.7.
Yeah, 5.5 is great for a guy who likes to shoot threes, right? He could just light up 2 threes in the first quarter and just be done with it. It is odd though that as the big man on the team that he shoots so many threes, right? He shot 4 shots in the game. 1 was a 2-pointer. The other 3 were 3-pointers.
Yeah, so, very Porzingis-esque.
Yeah, but I don't know. But anyway, so I think he has a good play again tonight. I think he'll get closer to 20 minutes, and I think he'll get probably closer to 10 points or something like that. 8, 9, 10 points.
This is he's in a nice spot here. Stretch bigs crushing the Clippers.
Yep. All right, cool. Very good.
All right, nice work.
Did you like my story?
It was good. Nice story time. Thank you.
And it's about time we gave the JAYLIN some airtime.
EN was getting a little too much there.
Was there something that happened with him on draft night? I saw somebody post a video where it was like, I think it was draft night, and like he was in a room of people and they called out the other Jalen Williams because they're both rookies, right?
Yeah.
And like everybody's like, yeah, and he was like, no, it's not me. It's not me.
No, I haven't seen that. I'm gonna go look for it now, though.
Yeah, it's. I think it was draft night or something, but it was like this poor guy is just like dealing with.
I mean, how confusing to draft 2 guys with the exact same name. In the same draft. It's just crazy. But
yeah, only the Thunder.
Yes. Well, with all those draft picks, it was bound to happen eventually.
Although people are talking about the Thunder like they are the team that's got the most potential to like have long-term stay power. Like, we're when we get into the futures before the beginning of next season, I think it's going to be one of the overs we're taking with Poku back in there. Who knows who they get in this draft? And Chet. Don't forget Chet.
Sorry, I meant Chet. I had Poku. I had the other like tall, weird looking It's the gangly looking center guy.
Aw, that's so mean. Okay, well, enough making fun of these guys.
All right.
We're good?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, all right.
All right.
Enjoy the
Enjoy.
games and get some picks up on Twitter shortly.
All right. Take care.